after it tonight here, Bizzle.
110.9. Let's check our fastest laps here because that seems pretty quick. The fastest lap of a modern Gen 6 Cup car in race trim was a 110.5, so we're not that far off of that for a bunch of amateurs playing on a computer. Well, other than Johnny Avila going for his road to pro. And the fastest lap ever was a 108.1, but that was with the Gen 5 car with the spoiler, a bit of a faster car, and that was Marcus Ambrose.
Yeah. 90210 saying same designer. Interesting. That's not a piece of information I had. Tyler Seville going up. He's going to be second quick. 16/100ths back. Let's pick up Oscar Jensen making his way up out of the 90 and towards turn 2. Oscar, one of the new names here to the Sim Racers Club in the 32 this season. Mike McConville on the racetrack, as is Tony Patton and Richard Smith II. Richard Fletcher, Corbin Simmons, Tim Knott, still not out on the racetrack for qualifications yet, and they're going to have to get a hustle on here.
Yeah, it takes at least 3 minutes to even get a lap in. You have to have your lap to go around your warm-up lap, and then you have your timed lap. And if you screw that up, you have to take another minute to go and make yet another lap. You get 2 attempts, so it's going to be tough if they're not going to go out there just yet.
3 minutes, 30 seconds remain in the qualifying session. See what the 32 of Jensen can do as he comes down across the start-finish line. His second lap time will be slightly quicker, going to be 11th quick on the board at a 1 minute 12.201. Will Worsler slotting in 6th quick. Oh, Mike McConville already, he is working the throwback schemes all season long.
Sterling Marlin's scheme, actually, my local slot car raceway had the hood for that car pinned up on the wall. I'm sure it was a replica hood, but that is one I remember very well from my childhood. Super cool car. He was actually the first NASCAR driver I met in person, way back in 06.
Sterling Marlin. Well, actually, that's his son's name. His son is Sterling. He is Starling Marlin, but was racing cars up until a year or so ago. 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, Sterling can't touch that under red flag, Marlin.
Yes, that is exactly right. I don't necessarily blame him. He said the 2002 Daytona 500, he jumps out of the car under red, starts yanking on the quarter panel. NASCAR officials jump out of the pace car. What are you doing? Get back in the car, whatever. He was going to cut the tire down if he didn't make that move. So either he cuts the tire down or he pulls the fender off it, keeps the tire on it, gets to start at the back of the field. Either way, he was going to the back. So Mike McConville's first lap, by the way, going to be good for 15th quick at 1 minute 13.644. I want to welcome everybody who's tuned in on YouTube and on Twitch. We apologize for YouTube being, well, YouTube, and not going live on time for us. But we'll do the intros again here in just a moment as we get ready to go racing. Heading into tonight's third race of the season, Tyler Seville holding an 8-point lead over Will Worsler. Already 17 points back to Kevin Dick in third, 19 to Hunter Waters in fourth. And Troy Haight rounding out the top 5.
I believe McConville's lap has some promise here. He is usually a good road course racer from what I've seen in other leagues, but fortunately not going to do it here. He's going to still be way back in 13th.
Yeah, 13th quick is not where Mike McConville wanted to be.
But Colton J. Harvey is definitely one of those road course ringers I was talking about. That is not a name we typically see towards the front of the field in this league. I'm not sure I've ever seen him race here with us, maybe once or twice, but at the top of the charts, he might only come in just for the road course races.
Well, yeah, we've seen him in the first 2 rounds of this season. He's currently 7th in points. Little bit of bad luck taking him out early on at Daytona, I believe it was, or at least it was kind of a late race deal, I guess. But one of the interesting things here, Patrick, we have the top 6 drivers in the field, plus Brad Allison in 8th, Max Williams, Thomas Wilhite in 10th and 11th, have all completed every lap thus far this season. 307.25 miles. I'm pretty certain we're going to see a bunch of drivers complete every lap here tonight as well.
But with how big this track is, it's very hard to get lapped.
Mike McConville checking in. We got to get this comment up real quick here. I have no feel for this car, but at least I look good. Yes, you do, Mike. Well done, buddy. Field starting to get out onto the starting grid. Let's pick. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do this one. We'll get you your starting lineup for tonight's race. Starting on the pole with a lap time of 1 minute 10.900 seconds out of the great state of Florida. It is Colton Harvey lining up alongside in car number 11 out of Clearwater, Florida for Will Worsler Racing. Cocktail on the side of that one. You'll have fun with that paint scheme here tonight, Bizzle. That is Tyler Seville. Kevin Dick and Alex Link on row number 2. Kevin Dick flying the colors for Red Deer, Alberta, Canada for Pie-Eyed Racing. Custom paints and die clasts, Northland Leisure and Mint Mortgage on the side of that number 52 machine. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's Alex Link in a lineup on the outside of row 2. On the inside of row 3, defending series champion and season 1 champ for 2022, Mr. Johnny Avila out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Piloting a Ford Mustang for Bulldog Roofworks and Will Worsler Racing. Lighting up to his outside, going to be the boss man, the number 29 out of New Johnsonville, Tennessee, Will Worsler Racing. Willoughby Roofing and Sheet Metal Custom Paints and Die-Cast High Flow Industrial and Environmental Services on that 29. Starting on the inside of row number 4 will be the number 7 of Boonville, Indiana's Hunter Waters, driving for Will Worsler Racing. Law Chevrolet Buick and Hunter's Fried Pickles on the side of that machine, and to his outside will be the number 14 of Alliance, Ohio's A.J. Digby. In the Will Worsler Racing rocket ship by Custom Paints and Die-Cast, that one is a Chevrolet Camaro. Row number 5 will have the 8 of Savannah, Georgia's Max Williams for YJ Motorsports, YJ Esports and SRD setups on the side of that one. To his outside, the number 28 of Pennsylvania's Troy Haight. Row number 6 will have Oscar Jensen and Andrew Moore Jr. Row number 7, New Jersey's Mike Conville and Daniel Pinkston in the number 22. Thomas Wilhite and Brad Allison on road number 8. Row 9 will have Joshua Morris and, well, it says Jordan Barry, but it's not going to be Jordan. He's one of the race admins here. Tim Knott, Tony Patton scheduled for row 10. Row 11, Corbin Simmons and Richard Fletcher. Richard Smith II was supposed to line up all alone in row number 12. Looks like Mr. Fletcher will be starting this race from the pit lane. And as we mentioned, Jordan Barry will be a no-go tonight, handling the race administration duties here.
Should be an easy job tonight. As long as they don't wad them all up in the S's and cause a blockage, he shouldn't have to press that caution button at all.
Yeah, that's the thought process anyway. However, calling penalties is something that we may see tonight for avoidable contact anyway.
That is true. These are stock cars. Just bash them into each other.
That sounds about right. Field making their way through the final couple of corners. They are going to get ready to roll through. Well, it depends on how you do the math. Is this turn 7? Is it turn 11, turn 12? I don't know. We'll make it up as we go along.
This is turn 11.
Off the final corner, and as always, race fans, the start of this one going to be all yours. Everybody going to play nicely through the first 4 corners of the racetrack. The inner loop is not a corner, according to the fine folks at Watkins Glen International. Turn number 5 is the outer loop for the carousel. It will be Colton Harvey grabbing the early race lead. Kevin Dick going to slide into second. Tyler Seville, Johnny Avila, Alex Link right now your top 5. Oh, and one car going around. That's going to be Alex Link sliding around backwards.
You can't park there.
Yeah, you can't park there, bud. He's going to get the car straightened out. But, oh, man, tough break for Alex Link. Oscar Jensen also getting off the racetrack a little bit here as we look back towards the front end of the field. Lap number 1 is in the books. It's going to belong to Colton Harvey. Here comes Johnny Avila looking down to the inside of Tyler Seville. He'll get the job done easily into turn number 1.
Johnny Avila really aggressive here at the start of this one. He was trying the same move on lap 1, and here he is making it happen on lap 2. He knows this is a long race, right?
You know what? Johnny's always kind of been that guy who he wants to go for it. He's getting after it and getting to the front. I would imagine if you're concerned about keeping up on raw pace with someone like Colton Harvey, you probably need to be up towards the front fairly quickly just because you don't want to lose contact.
And Kevin Dick running wide through the hairpin, so Johnny Avila's just going to go and take that one for himself as well, but Kevin Dick going to get the run now down in the turn 10.
Oh, little bit of contact.
Johnny Avila having to check up on the exit of that corner. It's not going to work for him. I don't know if he's going to be able to make the move into 1. Will he send it? Nope, he pulls right back in.
Yeah, he's going to slot back in line here, and Colton Harvey starting to get away a little bit now. We'll call it 1.6 seconds up on Johnny Avila. 1.3 up on Kevin Dick, running in the second position. Good battle going on here for second. Let's see, Oscar Jensen having a very short off track. Let's go back and take a look here and see if we can figure out what happened to Alex Link early on here. See if there was any contact in that lap 1 incident, or did he just overcook it on corner exit? Little bit of a twitch, and enough to send them around and hard into the outside arm zone.
And that right there is a product of this rear diffuser we have on these cars. These are now ground effects cars. Whereas with the old car, it would slide, you'd counter steer, you'd hold it in a little bit of drift, and straighten itself back out. These things with that diffuser, as soon as you counter steer, that rear end plants itself into the ground a little bit, it hooks, and the car dives to whatever direction you have the steering wheel pointed into. It takes some getting used to if you're not used to it.
Slide back a little bit here, pick up Troy Haight. He has Oscar Jensen just ahead, Mike McConville just behind. This is one of the tighter battles on the racetrack right now. Alex Link working his way back through the field, already up to the 16th position. Looks like the 43 of Richard Fletcher will be did not start here this evening as well. We have not seen the 43 out on the racetrack just yet.
They're still celebrating the win from Darlington.
Man, Mike Conville all over the back end of the 28 machine coming out of the inner loop. That carousel, oh, hold on to it, Mike! Big slide! Contact!
Oh.
With the arm
that
code.
Outer loop there. Oh, that's showing to be a tough one for these guys.
I was just about to say, that is one of my favorite corners in motorsports. It is banked appropriately, and you can just absolutely lay the hammer down through that corner, especially in some of the open wheel stuff that we cover. But Mike McConville now going to be heading for pit road. Kevin Dick able to hold off Johnny Avila to this point.
You said to this point, but I think he's going to make it to that point. I don't think Avila's going to get him until after the carousel.
Now, I'll tell you what, though, Johnny's significantly more aggressive on the curbing there, at least on the entry portion, than what we see out of Kevin Dick.
Johnny Avila pushing wide in the mid corner. This is going to hurt his exit a little bit, but it might give him a little bit of a run down in the turn 10. It's not close enough to make it happen, though.
Yeah, see, you're saying turn 10. That's if you count the boot.
No, that's if you count the bus stop as 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, which it's not. They don't count it as corners.
However, you said Watkins Glen doesn't count the bus stop as corners. But on this short circuit, they do count the outer loop as turn 9. Or, excuse me, at turn 10, the left-hand right angle corner, as turn 10. So that's where I'm getting the 5, 6, 7, 8 from.
I agree with you. If you're going to count it you're going to count them as corners, then yeah, it would be, I guess, 11 turns. Oh man, a little bit of a bobble there on corner exit for Kevin Dick. Johnny Avila going to have the run, but Dick covers the inside. Dick going to be able to hold on to the position here as they run through the carousel. So lap number 6 is on the board. It's going to be lap number 7. It'll be 1 to go until the halfway mark here of stage number 1, and it has been all Colton Harvey here at the front of the field. Tightest battle on the racetrack is this fight for the second position.
Johnny Avila almost pitching it around on entry. That was amazing. That was like a GT1 car, the way that thing just snapped around.
I'll tell you what, though, man.
Fantastic.
Great corner exit speed. Yes, it did. Great corner exit speed. Going to propel Avila up the S's through 3 and 4. Easily
gap
into the
now
position.
to Harvey is almost 2.5. Let's see if he can close that gap. He seems to be pulling away from Kevin Dick now, going bunch faster. He just seems to be so much smoother. It's almost like watching Ayrton Senna drive, the way it's super aggressive yet super calculated. It's really hard to describe. It's just fantastic.
The gap at the front of the field is continuing to grow here just a little bit as well. Johnny Avila trying to catch in, but not much going on there. Good battle a little bit further back in the pack here. Alex Link coming around Andrew Moore. That's going to put Link back up to the 11th position. He is absolutely grinding, but with no caution help, no stage breaks, it's probably going to take something goofy from a strategy perspective if Alex Link wants to try to have a shot at a top 5 here.
Don't take tires?
Could be the answer.
Now, I've never driven the Gen 7 car on a road course, but from my experience with the Gen 6, if you were careful on the tires, you could make them last a quarter of the full race distance, where they run 355 miles, 95 laps. So these things seem to be a little bit easier on tires. You might be able to push it to 61.
Wow, what a save!
Just saying hi to that safer barrier, letting it know that you haven't forgotten him yet.
Oh my goodness. A little bit further up in the field, Oscar Jensen, AJ Digby doing battle here down the front stretch. Just back behind him as well, Max Williams and Troy Haight going to be pretty tight here as we work lap number 9. Before we get too deep into the show here, got to say it's a big thank you to all the presenting sponsors of the Sim Racers Club, including SimSpeedShop.com. Overall season champion going to receive a NASCAR style wheel. Spring champion Johnny Avila and whoever is the fall champion will receive a button box 3 additional button boxes going out for the safe driver draw. Saw one of them going to Andrew Moore Jr., putting up a nice picture of the box up on his sim rig. Quality product there. Check him out at simspeedshop.com. Also, Northland Leisure putting up a cash sponsorship for the stage winners. Also, Realty Executives Saskatoon for the fastest lap race. That one currently belongs to Colton Harvey at 1 minute 11.077 second lap. Custom Paints and Diecast also putting up a cash sponsor for the Hard Charger and the biggest loser. Right now, your Hard Charger will be Richard Smith II. He is up 6 positions. I believe he had to make an attempt at qualifying. I'm not sure if Smith did or not. Tony Patton, we did see out on the racetrack. He is up 5. Biggest losers of the night right now are Alex Link and Mike McConville, tied at -7. Leaders in the clubhouse to this point.
So if Brett Allison can make up 2 laps on McConville and pass him, that might give Mike McConville a chance. However, if Alex Link, he's up there in 11th, he still has a chance. And who's that we got spun? Was that Will Worsler?
Let's take a look. It was Will Worsler. Looped around in the, inner loop. Take a look here and see what happened to Will Worsler, making his way down into the inner loop. Oh, caught a little bit of the grass, flips a curb, slides it out, but is able to get the car stopped.
You know what? I'll count that as a save. He did not hit anything.
No, he didn't. Did not hit anything. Also seeing that Brad Allison had an issue, and he is on pit lane after having to take the tow into the pit area. Let's take a look and see what happened here to the 0-3. He was wide on the exit of turn number 11. May have made some contact because he pulls it off to the side of the road and immediately takes the tow back into the pit area.
I don't believe he hit anything. I wonder if he had a hardware issue. Maybe his gas pedal wasn't working. Linkage came disconnected. Maybe he noticed the brakes were acting a little screwy and didn't want to continue on with a possible serious issue like that.
Battle we are following right now is Hunter Waters and Oscar Jensen. This is the fight for the 5th position.
Hunter Waters putting himself in a little bit of a pickle running the high line, but there's plenty of runoff here in turn 1. It's not going to work out badly for him.
See what you did there. Already getting the pickle jokes in. Fastest pickle in the South. Trying to get himself back inside the top 5 here as we work lap number 12. Stage break. Well, stage number 1 will end. Oh, Jensen gets off course. This is going to be a chance for Waters to come back.
No, Jensen didn't put himself in a pickle there. He saved it pretty well. I'll save the next pickle joke for stage 2.
Good work there, bud. Waters starting to catch in just a little bit. Wonder if Jensen did get a little bit of heat in those tires or a little bit of gunfall on him running through the grass, exiting the inner loop. What we were about to say is Jensen went off course is that there are stage points up for grabs here at lap number 15. If you're thinking season-long championship stuff, you do not want to give those up if at all possible. Hunter Waters entering the night 4th in points after losing a couple of spots after race number 2 at Richmond. Waters only 19 points back of Tyler Seville, your points leader. You get a little bit further back to Troy Hayden 5th. He's already 26 points back. By the time you get to Colton Harvey in 7th, 32 points back. you're talking about being in a position where you're already one race back of Tyler Seville. That really is a difficult thing to come up with. The points gap is difficult to make up if Tyler Seville's going to keep the heat on here early in the season.
Yeah, something I was just working out with our buddy Watson for the Fastmaster Series. I am one race ahead of him, and if he were to win every single race to the end of the season, if he somehow did that, I would have to finish no worse than third for all of those races. So it's still possible, but he has to win all three, and I can't finish worse than third.
Yeah, it's kind of just the nature of points racing. It's tough. If you get behind a little bit early in the season, it's a very difficult thing to make up.
And on the flip side, for Tyler Seville, just because he's bought himself this much of an advantage this early in the season doesn't mean he's safe. He still has to keep playing hard. He maybe doesn't have to go out there for a win every week, but he can't just give races up because he's got such a lead, because as well as that gap will increase if you're behind the gap, that gap will decrease very quickly too.
Following along here with AJ Digby and Alex Link. Link, remember, had an early incident and darn near wrecked the car a second time, and he's already got himself back up in the 8th position. 7, 6, and 5, not that far ahead of him either. So much for the brain surgeon wearing the play-by-play headset, saying he might not be able to get back to the top 5. Oh, outside, too wide into turn 2.
Alex Link is definitely another one of those road course ringers where he kind of just comes down and around for the road course races and shows them oval boys how it's done.
AJ Digby going to let Link slide through as they get to the inner loop. Digby is a guy that we really have to keep an eye on here because he is so good with making the fuel strategy calls that if there's a way to make it on fuel that you can then not have to take tires or shorten up the fuel stop, AJ Digby's got to figure out how to make that math work in his favor.
AJ Digby is like the Kevin Harvick of this series. He'll be up there at the front. We'll talk about him a little bit. Then during the middle of the race, he's doing all his strategy stuff, saving the car, putting himself in the back, saving fuel. And then you come to 3 to go, and what's Digby doing up there in 3rd place? Where was he? It's fantastic. Did James Watson pick up that 23 car?
Judging by the paint scheme on it, it is a definitive possibility. I'll tell you what, though, Tyler Seville was all over the back end of Kevin Dick heading into turn number 1, giving up a ton of time getting through that lap traffic. Seville now sitting in 4th, may have to just start very slowly reeling Kevin Dick back in. Closest battle on the racetrack right now, it's our buddy Alex Link. This time he's caught up to Hunter Waters. Oh, a little bit of contact. Oh, and Waters goes around as well. Hunter Waters spins out of turn 11. There was a little bit of contact with one of the lap cars.
That was quite a sour situation. We are in stage 2.
Take a look here. What happened to the 10? That was Corbin Simmons. There was a little bit of contact. Waters turns down to the inside of the racetrack, and quite frankly, I don't know that there was a whole lot of anywhere that Alex Link was going to be able to go to, but now Alex Link back up to the 6th position and quickly catching in on Oscar Jensen. Max Williams, A.J. Digby, Troy Haight battling for 7th, 8th, and 9th out of turn 11. Follow this battle as they make their way down the front stretch. Let's recap the season a little bit to this point. Jeff Yenish getting the win at Michigan after some Will Wursler on Will Wursler Racing violence. Starting the season off here, and Yenish picking up the win. Tyler Seville getting the win 1 or 2 weeks ago at Richmond. Tonight, after the week off, we're at Watkins Glen. Next week, Bizzle, this one's going to be fun, buddy. Throwback night at Darlington. And the best part of this, you and I are judging the throwback paint scheme contest. We have to pick a top 3, in fact.
We have to pick a top 3. Well, my top 3 is going to be different than your top 3. I believe we talked about this at Richmond, where you like the 60s, 70s cars. I love the late 80s to mid 90s cars. So, to all of the drivers, those are your year ranges if you want some good votes.
Well, the other one is if you can give us I'll say a unique throwback. There are 500 copies of the Miller High Life Bobby Allison car on Trading Paints.
Which I totally don't run on.
I was going to say, I absolutely love the paint scheme, but it's probably not going to win the award for us. I want to see some creativity. Give me a Rich Bickle throwback.
Give me like a 1998 Star Wars A Phantom Menace Jeff Gordon throwback. I don't believe... actually, there is one of those for the next-gen Camaro. I have it as my desktop background. I'm an idiot. Carry on. I completely forgot about that.
Got that one right. Colton Harvey picking up the win. We're a couple of laps late on this, but Colton Harvey picking up the win in stage number 1. But cue the Jaws theme. Johnny Avila closing in the gap, now down to 1 3/4 seconds. I can just see Colton Harvey doing something spectacular with that run. It's already vintage-esque on that number 36 machine. I can see him doing something very cool, like SoCal Surfer vintage look. That may win a throwback paint scheme award.
It doesn't have to be NASCAR either. If you want to do an old school ARCA scheme, even if you could put an old school kart scheme on a stock car and make it look good, you might get bonus points for that.
Yeah, the creativity is what we're after here. As Colton Harvey makes his way around the 28, around the 86 of Tony Patton. The race leader has now lapped up to 14th position. Next up on the list is going to be Daniel Pinkston, who is not that far ahead either. Johnny Avila starting to work his way through the field. Picking up the closest fight on the racetrack right now, Max Williams and A.J. Digby separated by 3/4 of a second. Williams running his first race with a direct drive wheel and doing it in a league race here this evening.
This is a long race to get used to a direct drive.
Bold strategy.
Oh, man!
Oh. Good save. Digby comes around. Troy Haight going to come around Williams as well down the front stretch here.
Now, for our viewers at home, a direct drive wheel is the opposite of your usual Walmart sim racing gear. A direct drive wheel accurately replicates the force of a real car, which means one of these things, it takes about 25 to 30 pounds of force to turn that wheel. That will what it will be in your hand sitting at your computer chair. If you're not used to that, that's like going to the gym for an hour and a half and just lifting a 30-pound weight every time you take a corner here.
Yeah,
it's
not
rough
easy
if you're not used to it.
Oh man, Will Wursler going to be right in on the back of this one as well. Williams all over the back end of Troy Haight as they exit the inner loop. That 23 machine of Richard Smith II. Oh man, Wursler almost went around exiting the outer loop. Haight going to get around the outside of turn 10. Williams off the racetrack. He's going to make the dive inside. He's trying to fight off Will Wursler. already approaching down. There's, oh, big overcook by the 23 of Smith.
And manages to not Jimmy Johnson it. He is still going into the S's. That was fantastic.
Oh, hold up. We got to wait, we got trouble on the racetrack for Johnny Avila.
No!
Take a look and see what happened here. Oh, he just clipped the grass.
He manages to get going, no contact. Okay, he was making up that gap on Colton Harvey. He was getting close.
He was getting close, and it allowed Kevin Dick to come back past. So now Avila's going to have to go to work to try to grab the second position back. Now it's Dick, Avila, Seville, separated by, call it 2/3 of a second from 1 to 3 in that line. As soon as I mentioned that we don't have anybody real close to each other, that's what we get.
I believe that's the commentator's curse working against us. Usually it's a powerful tool for the commentator when they want to see some action. You know, you compliment the leader a little bit, someone that's doing really good, and then they wreck the car and you have something to talk about.
Trouble on the racetrack for Joshua Morris.
Does that say on the side of it, Dubby?
Yes, it does.
Well, he's not going to get the W if he keeps crashing into the walls.
Oh, I see what you did there. Avila and Dick drag racing to turn 1 behind the lap car of Tony Patton. Avila sends it in big time. He's going to be able to grab the second position. Nothing that Dick can do there on the exit of the corner either. This is now where Avila wants to really try to open up a gap here. Dick's going to be able to get through, as is Tyler Seville. Tony Patton clears the way for all 3.
And in the overall points championship, this is effectively the race for the win. Colton Harvey is really just a road course guy, so these regulars.
I don't know that I don't know that we can say that though. Let me go back to the point standings here. Oh no, Oscar Jensen, Alex Link having an issue as well here. This is the battle down into the inner loop.
Not a spot you want to go for a pass.
Oh, they both got a little bit squirrely.
Oh, man.
The 32 slides into the wall. Alex Link may not have hit anything, but he's going to get himself squared away.
Digby almost got Digby too. That was a Formula 3 re-entry right there. Digby was probably screaming in his radio. But I don't want to discredit Colton Harvey, and I want to half take back what I said. I believe you said he was 7th in the point standing so far. So, obviously he's not a bad driver. I just mean to say that he hasn't been on my radar so far yet. Whereas Johnny Avila, Kevin Dick, Tyler Seville, those guys have been at the front of the point standings all last season and all the season before. So, if we're going by history's trends, I believe this is the race for the overall win in the grand scheme of the points championship.
Yeah, Colton Harvey went out with 18 laps to go last week at Richmond, last race at Richmond. Put him all the way down to 14th because we had 13 cars finish on the lead lap. That's really where the big deficit in points is coming from. But that's all it really takes is one bad finish. If you're chasing Johnny Avila, Tyler Seville, these guys typically don't make a ton of mistakes.
I mean, even when they do, Johnny Avila nearly spinning coming out of turn 11. I mean, he half spun. He's back up to second. So even when they do make mistakes, it's not bad ones. Mike McConville getting loose again. Oh, man. Saves it, doesn't hit anything. But I think all the chrome reflecting off of that car is blinding him a little bit.
Oscar Jensen, Alex Link coming around, A.J. Digby. Digby now back to the 7th position. Jensen back up inside the top 5. This is a great battle that's shaping up here as well. From Jensen all the way back to Max Williams in 10th. It's only about 2 seconds. They've got them all lined up here nose to tail. Oh man, Alex Link is an absolute animal here tonight. Dude is definitely putting on a show, almost making contact again with Jensen at the inner loop. To this point, everybody has run a single stint here, showing 26 laps completed. For everybody back through, well, okay, even the cars that are laps down, got to go all the way back to 18th place Joshua Morris to find a car that's been on pit lane.
So are you saying the pit window's open now?
I would think so.
I am not sure we got a fuel number for tonight.
We didn't get a fuel number. Oh, hold on to it, Jensen. What a save coming out of the inner loop.
Oh, another one!
What a...
Alex Link is looking for the pass going, get me the hell out of here. This is getting nuts.
What a battle these two have put on. Man, Jensen's still sliding the back end of that car around. He's loose off at turn 11. Link can have the look down to the inside.
Jensen,
oh, they made contact.
Oh man, he spins himself out. Who else are they gonna hit?
Link.
Just the blue cone. Will Worsler kills the blue cone, but everyone makes it through there all right.
Oh my goodness. And these two cannot get away from each other. I think we finally have some separation between Alex Link and Oscar Jensen.
Not for long, I don't think.
Not the way these guys have been going.
What do they say? Opposites attract? Yeah, those two guys are opposites. They're gonna get together again soon.
Take a look at this one on the replay into turn number 1. Link sends it down the inside. Jensen gives them absolutely no room to complete the pass. They go around. I don't know.
Avoidance by everyone.
I say by everyone. How did they not wad up 4 or 5 race cars there?
And did Hunter Waters get past Alex Link there through the S's? I kind of want to see that move. The camera kind of cuts out when he's going for the outside there in a spot you do not want to be on the outside. Oh, not a lot of room there between that Armco and the track.
FRS Drake checking in the comments here. So much heavy breathing.
That would be Mikhail from Ohio. Dude is a riot. He runs autocross out there. So if he's breathing pretty heavily at this, you know it's a pretty fantastic race so far.
Oh my goodness, that or he's just mocking us. One of the two, but... Will Worsler fighting with Max Williams. Troy Haight just ahead. That is 6th, 7th, and 8th on the racetrack. As we are working lap number 30, Colton Harvey holding on to an almost 10-second lead over Johnny Avila in 2nd. Avila, Tyler Seville, Kevin Dick, all going to be pretty close together here. Coming up, your race leader. He's led from the drop of the green flag off at turn number 11. Green and white checkered flag is in the air. And Colton Harvey gets the win in stage number 2. Johnny Avila off that final corner. He will come home second. We're going to go back to this battle between Troy Haight and Will Worsler.
Johnny Avila actually just setting the fastest lap of the race, besting Colton Harvey's qualifying time at a 1:10.720. Johnny Avila is pushing it right now, trying to make that gap up. It's down to about 9 seconds. About halfway left to go in the race. He might be able to make that up if he keeps running this pace.
Yeah, the question, are you going to have to take tires, though? I mean, at this point, we're halfway home.
Halfway home, and he's just set the best lap of the race and beat the pole qualifying time.
That's a good point. Could we, I mean, it could be splash and dash territory, fuel even.
I almost wonder if the road course tire Goodyear has supplied for this car is very similar to the Michelin compound they use for the sports cars, where it gets better and better all the way through the run until basically you need to pit for fuel and that tire just drops off. Johnny Avila takes lead. Colton Harvey in the pits now. I assume that would be a fuel stop. I guess you make it halfway, you fill her back up, and she'll make it the other half.
That, I would assume that's what we got going on here. Colton Harvey in the box. Not seeing the jack going up on that car either, so looks like Colton Harvey may be fuel only here. Although a 15.6 second stop for fuel, you might as well take the 4 tires at that point.
Yeah, it only takes 13 seconds to change all 4 on this car, so... to anyone else listening, Johnny Avila, I know you sometimes have the broadcast on the background. Take tires!
iRacing's worst crew chief doling out advice here. Max Williams, Troy Haight, Oscar Jensen on pit lane as well.
I believe Colton Harvey was taking my advice as crew chief earlier on in this race when I said, hey, you probably won't need tires through it. You ever seen Troy Haight took a stop? He took 4 tires. His pit stop was even faster than Colton Harvey's at a 15.1.
Well, let's see what Johnny Avila's going to do here. He is on pit lane as his second place running, Kevin Dick.
Johnny, take the tires.
Yep, there you go. Right side. Yeah, or left side of the car goes up. Doing the pit stops backwards here at Watkins Glen. Kevin Dick taking tires as well.
Johnny Avila's off with a 15.2 second in the box time. Next off the pit road will be, if I can even find it, someone else. Looking at my telemetry, it's all moving around so quick. I can't pay attention to who's where.
Drake's checking in again. Can he be worse than Ferrari? Ooh.
Not a chance. You could put a trained monkey that only speaks sign language on the radios for Ferrari, and he would make better pit decisions. I said what I said.
Wow. Race leader Tyler Seville on pit lane. The gap from Colton Harvey to AJ Digby is about 4 seconds. Johnny Avila, I think, made up a fair handful of time here as we see the 86 of Tony Patton coming back out. There's AJ Digby coming out of turn number 1. Johnny Avila just behind, and I'll tell you what, the gap is still about 9 seconds from Colton Harvey to AJ Digby, so not a ton of time lost. Colton Harvey back into the race lead. AJ Digby holding on to second, about 4.5 seconds back. You wonder if Digby's not going to try some sort of kind of splash and dash thought process here.
Yeah, Colton Harvey, excuse me, his pit time was 15.5 because he had to take a full tank again. He had to fill that thing all the way up. And he didn't take tires. AJ Digby might be able to get away with not taking tires and maybe only a 5 or 6 second stop because he's just throwing a splash in the car. And it might not put him on the top 3 here at this race, but that'll probably give him a top 5.
Our apologies for the graphical snafu there, trying to show you the pit stop times for all these drivers, but graphic package is not playing nicely with us here tonight.
I was going to say, everything doesn't want to work tonight. YouTube didn't want to go live, your graphics package doesn't want to work. What's next? The EMF attack from the sun takes out all of the internet in the Northeast?
You watch your mouth. That would be my luck tonight.
And we're both in the Northeast, so we can't even have me as a backup to throw it out.
Nope. Yeah, we got nothing. Hunter Waters, Troy Haight separated by about a second here. That's going to be the second closest fight on the racetrack. Richard Smith the second, Tony Patton battling. They've got Johnny Avila coming past. This one going to be the battle for the 13th position. Here comes AJ Digby down pit lane. Going to give up second to Johnny Avila, third to Tyler Seville, fourth to Kevin Dick. Now the question becomes, how far down is he going to fall? My guess is he's going to come out right around the 10th position or so.
I don't think he'll leave me that far back. Will Worsler is still about 38 seconds back. I think he'll stay right where he is.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Taking tires. Out of the box. Our fastest pit time of the night. So he definitely shorted it on fuel. He came out of the pits with 14.88 seconds in the box. Well clear of the next fastest Troy Haight at a 15.1.
Yeah, so, actually, the only one that was quicker was Kevin Dick. He went 14 flat. But outside of that, AJ Digby going to be second quick.
And he retains fifth. Will Worsler not able to get by. Will Worsler's right on the bumper now, but not able to make anything happen just yet. AJ Digby, though, on cold tires. Let's see how quickly he can heat those up. Will Worsler closing the gap now to the outer loop.
Yeah, Will's definitely going to want to make some ground here pretty quickly on Digby. Once the tires come up to temperature, Digby will have a pretty significant advantage. Give it a little bit of a wiggle there.
You can see, him weaving it at 100 miles an hour down the straight.
Trying to get some heat build up in those things.
Defending the inside line. This is going to give Worsler the rundown in turn one. Worsler diving to the inside. They're going to be side by side across start finish.
Worsler going to be able to complete the pass into and out of the 90. That's going to put Will back up to the 5th position, drop Digby back to 6th. Head about 4 seconds back, you'll pick up Hunter Waters and Troy Haight. These cars on a very similar strategy. Pick up your race leader, Colton Harvey. We haven't shown him a ton because he's been whooping everybody's rear end here. But the gap is shrinking. It's down to about 8 3/4 seconds over Johnny Avila. But with only 24 laps to go, longer than either of the stages we've had tonight. So definitely still time for Avila to make up some gap here, but Take a look. Issue here for Richard Smith. See what happened on the run down to turn 1. Flips the curb, slides over the outer curb. Ooh, buddy. Nice job, Tony Patton. Move back up here. Hunter Waters, Troy Haight battling for 7th. This is the tightest fight on the racetrack, so we'll hang out here with this one for a little bit. As we get ready to talk about what's coming up here for the next couple of weeks. Darlington Raceway Throwback Night put up next week, as we mentioned. 5 consecutive races for the Sim Racers Club. After Darlington, heading off to the Daytona International Speedway to round out the month of September. Followed by the Kansas Speedway and Bristol Motor Speedway on the concrete before an off week in the middle of October. Another 4-race stretch, Texas Talladega, Charlotte Martinsville. Off week right around Thanksgiving, then Homestead, Las Vegas, and Phoenix to close out the season December 14th. New fastest lap of the race, and it's going to belong to your race leader, Colton Harvey. 1 minute 10.652 seconds. Almost 3/10 quicker than he qualified.
You know what? Maybe not taking tires is the way to go. Maybe these tires just get better throughout the run, but I'm waiting for the fall off, because if I know anything about compounds like this that just get better and better, is when they fall off, it's not a gradual fall off. No, it's straight off of a cliff down to the depths of hell.
Yeah, the cliff fall off phenomena is definitely a thing, especially with these Goodyear tires that are on the Cup cars. At least in what I've driven of them, it's not like you said, it's not a gradual thing. It's like you get to turn 1 and go, well, nothing there this time. And you're just kind of out to lunch.
I did a GT3 race here about 2 years ago. I was in the Audi. It's a 45-minute race, the usual sprint race. I decided not to take tires. We get to the white flag. I grab the white flag. Now, I'm nowhere near in the lead. I'm in like 20th position. Come down the turn 1, hit the brakes, my usual marker. It does not slow down. The ABS kicks in, and the next thing I know, I'm waving the Jimmy Johnson in the turn 1 wall.
Yeah.
That is cliff fall off. The lap before, it was mint. I ran my fastest lap the lap before. It goes from perfect to nothing very quickly.
Seeing Mike McConville coming down pit lane. Kevin Dick having a little off-track excursion, only about 2.1 seconds. And at this point, everybody is separated by multiple seconds across the racetrack. Not much going on here with what will be 20 laps to go this time by.
Not much close racing on track at all right now. Everyone's just running laps, trying to see what they can do. Johnny Avila not gaining any ground on Colton Harvey. But like we said, there is the possibility of that cliff fall off. Been watching too much of that Chernobyl documentary talking about fallout. Yeah, but if those tires do completely drop off the cliff, Johnny Avila might have some work to do to make it up. But depending on how early it falls off, it might be easy work.
Well, yeah, the problem is at this point, the gap was 8 change seconds. It's now up to 9.9 separating Colton Harvey from Johnny Avila. Harvey has led every lap with the exception of 3, which took place during the exchange of pit stops. Johnny Avila led one. Tyler Seville led a couple. There is the number 63 Bulldog Roofworks machine of Johnny Avila.
Back to his usual colors we're familiar with him in.
Yes.
I love when drivers like Mike McConville throw on real cool paint schemes, but at the same time, it throws me for a loop. Like Johnny Avila last week, it was so hard to pick him out of the crowd because usually I look for orange and green. Yep, that's Johnny Avila. He was not in orange and green last week, and I was lost.
Yes, you were. Tyler Seville, new sponsors on the side of that number 11, Cocktail colors on the side of the Toyota. Is it Camry? Yeah, Toyota Camry.
That is a Camry. However, I don't know if this was intentional in the design of the paint or not, but cock is written in a much larger font than tail.
Yes, it is. And I'm going to guess purposefully.
I mean, obviously it's working. It's drawing attention to it. I just don't know if that's allowed. Although there is a ginormous cock in the hood. It's not a blue cock, so we can't bring our friends DeWeather into this, but it's there. Speaking of DeWeather, what's DeWeather on track right now?
Man alive, he's even mastering the segues here at this point, people.
Getting pretty good at this.
The Weather Center presenting our on-track conditions. 78-degree ambient temperature. Wind's going to be out of the southwest at 10 mile an hour. Partly cloudy skies, 93-degree track temperature. 64% humidity. Presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Check them out, ky.theweathercenter.com. Get all the information on... Actually, check them out on their Facebook page. They're redoing the website at the moment. But check them out on their Facebook page, the Weather Center. Their Christmas for Kentucky drive. We are hoping to take tractor trailers full of toys down to eastern Kentucky. Make sure these kids that lost everything in just biblical flooding are going to be able to have a decent Christmas.
I mean, the flooding down there, if you haven't heard anything about it, it prompted me to tell Peter, next time you go down there, I'm going with you. Just, it's terrible. It looked like a war zone. It looked like something you'd expect to see out of the Middle East. It didn't look like America. It was torn apart to bits. But they're getting it all fixed, just like they did after the tornadoes last year, and they'll be ready for the next one.
Following along here with Kevin Dick in the number 52. Currently running in the 4th position as we are down to 16 laps to go. Will Worsler rounding out your top 5, just making his way out or through and out of the outer loop. Good run for Worsler on a night that maybe not a strong suit racetrack for him, but it's going to keep him alive in the point standings. Entered the night only 8 points back. As it stands now, he's going to lose a couple of points, I guess 3, with the lap lead point as well for Tyler Seville. Colton Harvey has locked up the bonus point for most laps led, currently sitting on 42 led at this point. Running into 6th position is AJ Digby. The custom paints and die-cast rocket ship way wide, exiting the inner loop.
I don't believe rocket ships are supposed to go over grass. I believe they're supposed to go to outer space.
Depending on how you hit that final curve, you can get launched into orbit here.
I was going to say, I'm not a rocket scientist, obviously. I'm sitting here watching pretend race cars on a computer and not working up at the Glenn Center in Cleveland, so. I should go be a rocket scientist, though. Maybe the Artemis would get off the ground. I mean, I've fixed a fuel leak before. Come on, NASA, you've only had 10 years and triple the national GDP to do it.
All I can think is I don't think you're used to working with 8-inch pipe.
Speaking of Tyler Seville, you're being a cock, dude.
AJ Digby, Hunter Waters separated by about 3/4 of a second.
Oh, man. I think we're losing our minds.
Cody Brooks checking in here on YouTube. Thank you much for the comment. Rockets can go sideways as well as up and down. They're just harder to control with obstacles. Fair point. I'll give you that one.
Is that a Rastafarian sponge profile picture?
No, I believe it's a Rastafarian Lego guy.
I think that's a sponge.
Could be. So this is pretty much the only battle on the racetrack right now. 10 seconds separating Colton Harvey from Johnny Avila. 11 seconds separating Avila from Tyler Seville. 3, almost 4 seconds between Seville and Kevin Dick. 32 seconds between Kevin Dick and Will Worsler. And it's 5 seconds between Will Worsler and AJ Digby. So we'll hang out here with this battle, at least for the time being. Okay, here we go. We have the answer. Cody's saying it is a sponge soaking wet in a Hoboken skate park where humans aren't allowed to smoke. Well done, Cody.
That is fantastic.
Richard Smith having an off-track excursion, as is Mike McConville. Both of those drivers back on the racetrack, continuing along. Updating our biggest gainer, biggest loser, Richard Smith II is up 9. Again, I don't remember if he made an attempt to qualify. He did not. Well, he didn't get a lap in qualifying. I don't think he even attempted to qualify. But we'll take a look there. Otherwise, it would be Tony Patton getting the award. Patton also not getting a lap in, but we did see him out on the racetrack. He is up 7. Biggest loser of the night, Alex Link, going to come home in the 18th position, down 14 spots after starting on the outside of row number 2.
AJ Digby in a bit of a pickle here with Hunter Waters closing up this sour situation into the inner loop.
contact might have them so salty they end up brined. New fastest lap of the race. The man is a machine. Colton Harvey goes quick lap 1 minute 10.489. A full half second quicker than what he did in qualifying.
Can we dial up Goodyear? Do either of us have their number and let them know that these tires are supposed to fall off? I want these tires on my road car. If they can put up this much abuse on a racetrack and go faster after 51 laps, imagine what they could do behind my 100 horsepower pickup truck.
I can just see you
200,000 miles.
I can just see you siping out a tread, one tiny little thing at a time.
Don't tempt me. I bought ThorSport Surplus. I have the Goodyear decals that go over the front tires. I will put them on. Don't tempt me.
Cody checking in saying, dude is fast, tires holding. Yeah, that's it at this point. The question becomes, are they going to cliff? Until we see it happen, I guess the answer is no. But at this point, Colton Harvey is closing in on Hunter Waters and AJ Digby. We are very likely to be down to 5 cars remaining on the lead lap by the end of this race.
Which Colton Harvey just proving me wrong, and he needs to stop. I said before the green flag even dropped, it's going to be hard to go a lap down here. This is a big track.
Well, yeah, it's a big track, and quite frankly, with the talent level that we see here in the Sim Racers Club, you don't expect somebody to run away and hide to the tune of 12 seconds over second place.
I mean, and Johnny Avila setting his best lap. I've been watching too much fishing videos too, apparently. At a 1 minute 10.51, only 0.3 off of Colton Harvey's best time. So both of these guys putting out incredibly fast times. It's just not going to be enough to close that gap in 9 laps.
No, and if you look at the 15-lap average, it's 2.5 tenths from Harvey to Avila. Look at the 5-lap average, it's the same 2.5 tenths. Harvey is just, I mean, it's not a ton, but it's enough quicker. Absolutely incredible performance tonight here out of Colton Harvey. More action coming up this week on the National Racing Network as well. Coming up tomorrow night. No show for Burt Wojcik and Adam Rubright on the High Side Hustle. They will be out at the Baps Motors Speedway, covering 410 sprint car racing for us, then heading off to Grandview Speedway for what could be the final weekend of racing at that legendary racetrack on the hill in Bechtelsville, Pennsylvania. The Freedom 38, the Freedom 76 are coming up Friday and Saturday night, respectively. If you are anywhere in the Northeast, usually the expression is get your ass to Kokomo. Get your ass to Grandview this weekend.
See, and that tears me up because our buddy Andrew lives about 5 minutes from Grandview. So I could easily go to Grandview that night and have a great time, drink a couple beers. I got a designated driver to take me 5 minutes up the road. On the other hand, Saturday night, I got invited to work with a modified team on the NASCAR Tour out at Riverhead.
That's a hard call, honestly. I say that's a hard call. There is so much incredible history out of Grandview Speedway. iRacing, you need to scan Grandview before that place disappears. There is the possibility that the transaction may not go through. It's basically a formality at this point, though.
I have signed the petition. You go and sign it, too. It's been going all around Facebook if you're in the dirt racing circle. make sure to let them know when you sign that petition. Hey, I don't live anywhere near Grandview. I told them I live in Long Island. I drive out all the way to Grandview to go to the racetrack and spend money in their town. Make that your point.
This is one of those deals that I'm really torn about, because the Rogers family that has owned the property since its inception as Grandview Speedway, originally constructed by Forrest Rogers, gave it up after 3 or 4 years to his son Bruce and his wife Teresa. They've run that place for going on 50 years now, actually 60 years I guess it is. It really is one of those deals that Bruce passed away a handful of years ago. She's hit a point where she doesn't want to run a racetrack anymore. She's in her 80s, and somebody offered to cut her a big fat check. If we want to start a GoFundMe to give her more money than Copart's going to give her, I'm all for it. But I can't knock the racetrack. If you hit a time where it's just time to pack up and sell out, and unfortunately, it's going to Copart.
I am not blaming Teresa at all. I know Tony Stewart placed an offer a number of years ago, and I'm hoping he comes around and swoops it up. Because if we've seen what Tony Stewart did to Eldora, sure, it's not the old school Eldora everyone loved back in 2000. But it's still a racetrack, it's still here, and there's still cars pounding around on it.
Yeah, that's the part for me that I wish we could see somebody come in and throw an even bigger check. But one way or the other, if you're anywhere within 6, 8, 10 hours even, get up to Grandview. That race, the Freedom 76er, is going to be spectacular this year. Friday night, the Freedom 38 is just as good of a race, too, for the sportsman cars. But down to 5 laps to go here. Well, we'll finish recapping the schedule. No high side hustle tomorrow night. We've got the Ezra IndyCar Series returning. Followed, they're going to be, I forget where they are. Michigan, I believe, which is going to be spectacular for the IR18 Indy cars. Followed up by round number 1 of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship from the all-new Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course Scan. Finished the work on the cameras today for that one. That race is going to look absolutely spectacular. As Colton Harvey diving inside.
Oh man, locks up the tires a little bit. I wonder if they're starting to fall off.
Well, I'll tell you what. It also may have been Digby and Waters trying to get out of his way, but now these two are going to be locked up in a very tight battle.
Now, these are oval guys. On an oval, you don't move out of the way for the leader. You fight to stay on that lead lap. On a road course, however, the etiquette's a little bit different. Except you hold your line, do everything you have been doing, and the faster guy will pass you. But the mindset that gets into the oval guys' heads is, I'll move out of his way, and you do something unpredictable when you move out of their way, and the experienced road course guy is going to go to that spot you just went to because that's not where he was predicting you to go, and it throws everyone for a loop. And that's what makes these road course races with stock cars so much fun.
Yeah, you just have no idea what's going to be coming.
Especially on the official side, because especially in the splits I get into, it's the top 4 or 5 guys are road course ringers, and the rest of us are all oval boys. And I do a fair mix of both, so I'm usually right there at the bottom of the top of the road course guys. But yeah, it can get rough when you get some of your oval only guys running it just for the weekly points. No idea what they're doing. They'll wreck you without even trying to wreck you. They'll bounce off the wall and straightaway. Like, it's a straightaway. We have these on ovals too. What is the problem?
I'll tell you what, a guy who hasn't had a problem tonight is Colton Harvey. Now lapped up to 6th place, Hunter Waters. Let's see. Will Worsler's not exactly out of range, if you can believe that. Will Worsler coming to the start-finish line right about now. So a little bit of a gap there, but good Lord, man. Absolutely incredible race.
I mean, I've never seen this much domination in this league. Johnny Vila now just setting the fastest lap, but I think it's a little too late. But usually we see maybe Johnny and Tyler Seville leading every lap, but they never get so far as 10 seconds ahead of any other car on track. This has been incredible.
How about Johnny Avila taking the fastest lap by a full 2/10? 1 minute 10.227. Can Johnny Avila get into the 1 minute 9s?
Well, I believe with that time, Johnny Avila has surpassed the race record here at this track for the real world, but 109s I think might be a stretch. Unless he has time to practice this track, he can definitely do it, but with this Road to Pro stuff going on, I don't know if he has the time to practice to get down there, and I don't know if it's worth it. Final lap! Colton Harvey in the lead still.
1 lap to go. Colton Harvey has led 57 of the 60 completed laps.
It is his race to lose at this point. As long as he doesn't hit anything, he has enough of a gap. I believe he can spin out and still win this thing.
By the way, the all-time record here for the NASCAR Cup Series NextGen,
which was set just a handful of weekends ago.
Yes, Dylan Alt at 1 minute 8.894.
Okay, but that was pre-update. I'm not sure what they changed on the update to these cars, but I have a feeling it made them slower.
Possibly here. 1 minute 8.9 for Matt Busa in the Mustang.
Well, there's Colton's problem. He's in a Camaro.
Off the final corner, checkered flag goes in the air. Colton Harvey dominating win here at Watkins Glen. Absolutely incredible. Johnny Avila making his way over the start-finish line. And Harvey's already burning them down in turn 1. Oh, that's beautiful.
And this is going to be the first race in a while we don't see a Will Warser Racing party on the start-finish line.
No, and actually, I think he grenaded. Yes, he did. He grenades the engine in the Ron John Surf Shop number 36. We still have cars finishing this race, by the way. Man alive, what a performance. Hunter Waters and AJ Digby battling for 6th. Digby going to be right there at corner exit. Oh, Hunter bobbles. Oh, they're beating him bang into the line.
Oh, man. I can't tell who won that.
Hunter Waters got the spot.
By how much?
I am seeing timing and scoring says, I think, 0.02. Oh, that was awesome. Fantastic show at the finish.
Close.
Hunter Waters, AJ Digby, thank you very much. That was fun. Let's get you the race results here as we get ready to, we'll get our victory lane interviews ready to go here as well. But Colton Harvey, the winner by 9.3 seconds over Johnny Avila. Third place, Tyler Seville, was in a different zip code, 26.7 seconds back. Kevin Dick, Will Worsler, the only cars finishing tonight on the lead lap. Wow, what a performance from Colton Harvey. 6 through 10 going to be Hunter Waters, AJ Digby, Oscar Jensen, Troy Haight, and Andrew Moore Jr. Shout out to Oscar Jensen. He was wrecked 2 or 3 times tonight. Doing a great job to come home in the 8th position. 11 to 15 going to be Max Williams, Thomas Wilhite, Tony Patton, Richard Smith, and Mike McConville. Daniel Pinkston going to come home in the 16th position. 17th, Tim Knott. 18th, Alex Link. 19th, Joshua Morris. 20th, Corbin Simmons. And 21st position tonight is Brad Allison. Race that took about 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete. That one was fun. Let's get our other 2 drivers up here for Victory Lane. We'll bring up these guys. But first, let's talk to our race winner, a guy who was absolutely unreal tonight. Colton Harvey, congratulations. That was absolutely incredible what we saw out of that 36 machine tonight.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was that was a fun race. I wish Johnny. I saw off the corner of my eye in the broadcast that Johnny had lost it, and I wish he wouldn't have, because that would have been a heck of a race between him and I. He was catching me every time. I don't know how on the last after the cycle. I don't know how I was putting together 10.5s. Those are the fastest laps I've ever turned here.
Yeah, that was impressive. Best lap of the race for you at a 10.482. That's impressive. How did you get the lead opened up so big? I mean, obviously there was the little bit of an issue that happened early on, but you don't build a 9-second lead off the one small incident that happens on the racetrack. That was really the question, I guess, is how do you build that gap? That was impressive.
I was just trying to be as consistent as I can. I know that on cold tires, the car is very slippery here. You got to be really careful going into the bus stop. You can lose the back end easily. You can lose the back end going into the S's on cold tires. So I just tried to stay consistent, but after 2 laps, the thing with the tires here, they cool down so fast. I don't know what's going on with iRacing and their tire wear here, but the tires cool down so fast here, so you can just go as hard as you want. Yeah, my right front was 80, my right rear was 79.
That's pretty impressive, because Patrick and I were discussing that in the booth. Was it going to hinder you not changing tires at the pit stop? It almost seemed like it was a great strategy call to stay on them.
It would have made me slower if I grabbed tires, because it takes about 3 or 4 laps for them to get warmed up, and then you can probably run the same pace. But the longer you go, the faster you are here. I don't know what the deal is, but I just tested and found that out.
I was going to say, that's almost like what I found with the sports car tires, is they get better and better throughout the run, but you have the trade-off of they do fall off completely off a cliff. And I guess we were getting close to that limit, because you and Johnny were setting fastest lap of the race towards the end of it.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, something threw me off my groove. I think it was, not blaming them, I think it was the 5th and 6th place cars battling, and I had to get around them, and it just threw me off my groove, and then I was just a second slower, and I couldn't find it again.
Well, you built up enough of a gap in the early part of the race. It didn't matter very much now, did it?
No, it didn't. But it was a really fun. I have a really fun racing these guys in the league. Johnny, man, I really wish you didn't spin, because we would have had a battle.
Well, I'll tell you what, bud, it was a fantastic job tonight, picking up a dominant win, leading 58 of 61 laps. Big points night for you as well. Congratulations on that. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, just want to thank Ron John Surf Shop for riding along with me. Hometown surf shop. Yeah, biggest one in the United States, Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, buddy. All right, bud. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. Let's bring in our runner-up finisher tonight, Mr. Johnny Avila. And I'll tell you what, Colton was just telling us he wished you didn't have the spin issue because he thought you two were going to have a heck of a battle. Tell us about how the car was all night. That 63 machine looked pretty stout.
It felt pretty good. Yeah, I just made the mistake and I got like half my left rear tire on the grass and just looped it. But sucks that happened because Colton had a lot of speed and it definitely would have been a lot of fun trying to battle him because it is so hard to pass and like I bet you there would have been situations where we're side by side and it's nail biting. But gotta congratulate the guy on the win. He came in here and put on a show.
Yeah, one of the interesting things was he did not take tires at the pit stop. You did. Did you notice a big difference in it? Colton mentioned the fact that the tires were slick for 3 or 4 laps, and he kind of felt like it would slow him down too much. Was that something you noticed out of the car as well?
Well, I was thinking of not taking tires. I wasn't sure. I just did it. And the thing is, when I came out of pit road, I was pretty loose because of the cold tires. So maybe not taking tires was the way to go.
Well, I tell you what, bud, it was a fantastic drive tonight. You're going to pick up a few points here on Tyler in terms of the season-long championship battle. What are you thinking here? We're heading off to Daytona next week. We go from one sort of wild card to another one.
I tried to do everything I did last time we were at Daytona and Talladega. With teammates as great as everybody at WWR, the plate tracks tend to be our strong suit because we're able to just be so organized and work so well together that it helps a lot, especially with the numbers that we got. So I'll be looking forward to it.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations on the runner-up finish here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, gotta thank Bulldog Roofworks. It's great having sponsor support. And I got to thank all of my teammates. They put in a lot of work during the week and they helped me out. And got to thank all the admins. And last but not least, you guys up in the booth, making these races real fun to watch.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And let's bring in our third place finisher here tonight, Mr. Tyler Seville. And man, first, Tyler, I got to ask you, new colors on the side of that car tonight. Tell us about the new sponsor.
Oh yeah, it's Cocktail Bar down in St. Petersburg, Florida. Glad to have them on the hood. It's a good looking paint scheme.
Yes, it is. Like the paint
It's
job.
got a large cock on the hood.
That it does. I figure it'd be something everybody could see as it hopefully gets some TV time.
Yeah, you got some TV time, that's for sure. And which is kind of tough to do on a night when Colton Harvey goes out here and absolutely smokes the field. I don't think we've ever seen that in a Sim Racers Club race. Do you kind of have to chalk that up as the championship leader going, not our night?
Yeah, my goal was to just walk out of here with a top 5 at the end of the day. So for me, it's mission accomplished. I've raced with Johnny a good bit, and I know just skill set wise, he's a little bit quicker than me. Well, a lot quicker than me on road courses. But Colton was just lights out from the drop of the green flag. I think it caught us all off guard. I wasn't anticipating that, but congrats to him.
Yeah, now as we head off to Daytona here, mission accomplished, you said tonight. Is it kind of the same thought process next week when you head off to Daytona?
Oh yeah, I just need to keep it clean. I keep telling Johnny my goal is to just try to get out in front of him and hide. Hopefully for the rest of the season. With him missing that first race, that puts him back a good bit behind me. But Will is right there knocking on the door every week, so it's going to be a tough fight. It's just minimize mistakes and try to get the best finishes possible.
Now, Tyler, I've got a question for you, and I guess I'll extend this to the rest of WWR as well. We saw you guys last week, and we've seen it before, where you guys were all up front at the end of these plate races or some of the pack racing tracks, and you guys kind of have a boys have at it attitude where you're all going for the win. Is that something you're worried about going to Daytona, is going for the win and ending up taking out 2 or more of your teammates?
Well, in theory, we like to have boys have at it. But like if 3 of us are in the top 5, let's just try to get a 1, 2, 3. I know we've had some issues accomplishing that in the first race of the year. But yeah, it's boys have at it, but just try not to wreck each other because ultimately we want to get the best finish for the team. But it's a true testament to our teamwork that we're able to put this many cars in the top 5 each and every week, it seems.
Well,
Yeah, it always seems like at the end of the race, there's a big WWR party burnout in the front stretch. So, guys are doing something right.
Yeah, just teamwork and practice. That's all it is. That's all there is to it.
All right, bud. Well, we appreciate you checking in with us here. And before we let you go, make sure you get those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, shout out to Cocktail Bar, and then shout out to my teammates, and congrats to Colton on the win.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And man, I'll tell you what, Patrick, we got a show tonight here at Watkins Glen International. This one was a ton of fun. I was good.
I was going to say, I was delightfully surprised. Usually we come to a road course and it's, oh God, it's a road course. They're all going to be single file, 15 seconds apart. There's going to be nothing to talk about. What's going to happen? And both 2 weeks ago with Indy Pro 2000 at Nürburgring and now tonight at Watkins Glen, very, very pleasantly surprised. This was a fantastic race. Plenty of battling going on. Colton ran away with it, but you only had to look as far back as the battle for second, and there was always stuff going on.
Yeah, we had stuff to talk about all night, which was a ton of fun. And quite frankly, looking forward to what we got coming up next week for these guys at the Daytona at Darlington. How did I can't believe I messed that up.
Yeah,
we're going to Darlington.
Daytona?
It's
I believe you
throwback week.
said Daytona to Colton, Johnny, and Tyler. And then I even asked on Tyler's plate strategy.
Yeah, well, okay, so you
You're
look
throwing
at
me for a loop.
Yeah, okay, so you look at Sim Racer Hub, and for whatever reason, it shows not the next race, but the following race in like a bolded color. So the eye catches the bolded color, and that's what you run with. My
we will be
apologies
at
for screwing that up.
Darlington next week.
Yes, we're going to Darlington.
The plate race will be the following week.
130 laps at the Lady in Black. I am looking forward to it. Hopefully you are all as well. Don't want to miss any of our coverage from Grandview Speedway this weekend. Also, fantastic work by Alex Gray, our NASCAR reporter covering the big Kyle Busch to RCR news this week. He'll have a ton coming up from Bristol Motor Speedway as well. Huge shout out to our IndyCar team. Ben Carswell handling the writing, Jason Owens, James Watson, Christian Jasper, M. McCullen, everybody participating in the Pizza at the Pagoda show for a fantastic season of NTT IndyCar Series coverage. Looking for coming back more of that once we get to the springtime, but IndyCar taking their 14-month-long off season, it feels like. We'll be back. Plenty to talk about with that one, though, and a whole lot coming up here tomorrow night as well. Kick it off with the Ezra IndyCar Series at Michigan. Follow it up with the Indy Pro 2000 Championship on the all-new Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course layout. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully you will come hang out with us as well. For Patrick Byrne and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these broadcasts happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will talk to you all soon. Have a good night, everybody.